This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick. What's going on?
Well, it's kind of hot right now, but it's like at least it's not like tropical hot like it was last week.
Yeah, yeah. Indeed, indeed. It's summer, dog days of August, whatever. We're going to be in it for a bit. But hey, think of it this way. It'll end soon.
Yes, it's like and like we're not going to be nearly as miserable as the people in the series that I'm going to be talking about this week, which is called Wolfsmund.
Oh, Wolfsmund. Okay.
Yes, it's like longtime readers know that I've been talking about the volumes of the series for a while. And it's like because it's basically it's unique amongst manga in the sense that it's a series that a doesn't take place in Japan at all. It doesn't even take place in the modern day at all either. It's like this is a series that takes place in the early 14th century. It focuses on the revolution in the Swiss cantons that eventually led to the forming of Switzerland itself. It's like now the thing is though is that it's an age volume series, but volumes 1 through 6 are concerned with a very specific story in this struggle, like a fictional story as far as I can tell. It takes place because the focus of the series, the Wolf's Maw of the title, is the fortress at the St. Gotthard Pass, which is run by a bailiff, Bailiff Wolfram, who has a very uncanny ability to suss out like people who are passing through through his station for unworthy means. Like we see this at the very beginning when one of the rebellion's daughters is being escorted through. It's like by one by one of their most capable knights, and things don't go well for them. Then we get a story follows it up with another one where it has it's like a very capable another capable female member of the rebellion using all of her skills to try and get past the bailiff. It's like and that ending in tragedy as well. And the final story in the first volume introduces us to someone who's going to become the ostensible main character of the series, Wilhelm Tell. And if you think, well, hey, that sounds like William Tell, you'd be right. He is the son of William, who's also in the story as well, and he's kind of like the spiritual leader and the figurehead of the rebellion. And he and the son are in the first volume trying to get past the pass by going through the mountains. Only the bailiff sees through that as well. Now, it's like one of my concerns with the series early on was that it's going to be kind of a series of miserables, like hey, it's like, oh, they're going to try to get past the it's like the bailiff. Oh, nope, they're going to fail. That's going to suck. It's like it's just going to people trying to get past and failing, but maybe even striking a spiritual victory along the way, such as the case with the madam who runs the one of the inns near the near the St. Gotthard Pass, and serves as in the first two volumes at least as kind of like the like the spiritual guardian of the people trying to get through. Now, fortunately, the mangaka Mitsuhisa Kuji seems to sense this, and while there are some interesting twists in the first two volumes, like such as the two-part story that focuses on some traders within the Swiss cantons that are being oppressed by this pass, and the Habsburg family who basically views these three cantons like some Schweizuri and Unterwalden as being their territory. You got these traders who are selling out the rebellion, and we get a couple of chapters from their perspective. So yeah, the first two volumes are kind of basically take the whole people trying to get through St. Gotthard Pass and failing, that kind of storyline as far as it can go. And in volume 3, that's when we finally start getting into the battle against the it's like the fortress itself. And for the next 3 volumes, well, actually 4 really, we get a really brutal story of killing by inches as forces on the southern and northern sides of the pass try to get through in into the station and to take out Wolfram himself. Now, the thing is, the manga Mitsushikuji. Well, first of all, she's a woman, which I mentioned this because holy shit, this series is as brutal and gory as anything this side of Berserk. Which she actually worked as a assistant to Kentaro Miura on for a while. I remember reading this. It's I'm back on Anime News Network a couple of years ago. So and she does not shy away from any of the brutality of the series, whether it's women getting beheaded, guys getting their skulls crushed in by horses' hooves, people being tortured at length. It's it is brutal. It is brutal and unrelenting. And if you hear me say compare this series to Berserk in terms of violence, and you think that's probably a bit too much right there. It's the series may be a bit too unrelenting, for you. But if you're like me and you've learned to appreciate really creative instances of violence and torture over the years, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but that's just how things have turned out. Then it's Wolfsmund will offer lots of different compelling, interesting, and gross instances of violence and torture over the course of the series. But it is not unrelentingly bleak for the most part, because it's even in the bits early on when Wolfram is just using his almost uncannily supernatural ability to suss out liars as they pass through the station. It's there are still moments when he realizes when some people do manage to get the better of him, and you learn to live for those moments as you're reading this series, and Kuji does dole out enough of them in order to keep you going. And in fact, rereading this series, it's a lot easier to take when you know what's coming, and also to see that Wolfram there are lots of moments in there when Wolfram does realize that shit, things aren't going my way. It's this isn't how I planned. I've got to find some other way to deal with this. And like I said, from volumes 3 to 6, it's basically killing by inches as the as the rebels try to get through to fight their way through the through the station and deal with all the traps that have been laid inside there, from millstones to grind up people into as they try to get past corridors, to the defenders dumping molten lead on the assailants, and that was just plain nasty when you see a guy's face melted away with that. And also the bits with when because Greek fire is used a whole hell of a lot in this series as well, as are primitive firearms, which the rebels use to try and in suicide attacks to try and breach the doors and portcullises they find. Now, it's worth mentioning that even though the series doesn't take place in Japan, it is very Japanese in its sensibilities, in the sense that you've got these heroes who are very concerned with their personal honor, and also more than anything else, who are willing to die for their to achieve their goals more than anything else. To the point where you've got these these suicide troops who will use these hand cannons in order to breach enemy defenses, or who will run through Greek fire in order to build a mound of corpses and hay bales in order that will allow the rebels in order to get into the station itself. Later on, we even get a group of 200 soldiers sacrificing all of their lives in order to trick the Duke into a 300-esque like a fighting engagement. So yeah, it's not in Japan, but it's very Japanese in its execution. And but the thing is, though, is like these first 6 volumes, which are basically the story of the taking of the Saint Gotthard Pass, and and the ultimate downfall of Bailiff Wolfram. It's like that is the heart of the series, really. And like I say, his downfall, and you said spoilers, but no, trust me, you're going to want to know that he does suffer greatly for what he's done, because my God, he is a ginormous asshole. And that it's not just that. And after reading this series for a while, you're not just going to want to know that that he dies, but that he dies badly. And yes, that is something I can assure you. Yes, he does die badly. He dies badly. It's like in a way that it could have been worse, to be perfectly honest. But what we get in the series is I think deeply satisfying, considering his many crimes. It's like over the course of the first 6 volumes. But it's like the thing is, like, the first 6 volumes are basically concerned solely with Wolfram and this and this pass. So it's kind of like, okay, well, now that you've done this, I mean, like, this is like where the series, by all rights, the series should have ended with a nice little epilogue saying that, hey, it's like eventually these Swiss rebels were able to defeat the Habsburgs and the modern, and that eventually led to the modern day founding of Switzerland. Well, that's not what happens. You see, because the series goes on for another 2 volumes where it's like where the Schweiz canton, we found out we see with the Schweiz canton and their struggle to resist Duke Leopold when he comes back with 2,000 cavalry and 7,000 peasants in order to crush the rebellion there. Now, Volume 7 is just really kind of depressing in the sense that it's one where the good guys just get their ass handed to them almost relentlessly towards the end, but it also really left me feeling that, hey, if this is the new direction for the series, it's like I can't really see this going on much longer. It's like, and in fact, like, Volume 8 is the end, and its main focus is entirely on this one battle called the Battle of Morgarten, which apparently was a real battle that happened. It's like in the early 14th century, and if you're familiar with 300, then you'll know that sometimes the right choice of where to fight counts for the most in any battle, and that's and if you're reading this, you might be getting the feeling that that as Leopold pursues these 200 people, these 200 peasants, that maybe they're leading him into a trap. Well, you'll have to read the volume to find out exactly how that goes, but I will say that it is very satisfying, and for a self-contained story, it is pretty entertaining. It's like it does wrap up the series in a pretty satisfying fashion, and it even allows for Bailiff Wolfram to make a deeply appropriate cameo. It's like in the middle of the volume as well. So it's like, but what was interesting for me to learn was that at the end of the volume, there's an afterword from Kuji, where she talks about how Wolfsmund was able to come to a conclusion in the exact form that she discussed when it was in the serialization proposal for the series, which just really strikes me as odd because, like those, like I said, you spend 6 volumes on one thing and then 2 volumes to just show you, hey, and then this is how the Swiss achieved independence. There you go. It's kind of wrong-headed actually, but as far as the story goes, as the story that's being told, it's not bad. I mean, like I said, Volume 7 was depressing, but it leads into Volume 8, which like does end on a very positive like earned note of like a it's like of happiness with all the characters. So I mean, so it's just really odd that the series like was planned out this way. It If I were to guess, I would assume that maybe when this was series was approved, they kind of thought maybe the editors thought, well, like this like the series isn't going to be that popular, so might just go ahead and say yeah. If it gets canceled, we can just cancel it at volume 6. But apparently, I guess the series was just popular enough. They said, well, okay, we can just keep it going to the point where the mangaka wanted it to end, but no more. So there you go. I mean, like I said, it's a very oddly paced and structured series, but definitely entertaining one. It's like and it's like and also one that, from what I've heard, is like very outside the tastes of most manga readers in the U.S. Because I've heard word that this is one of Vertical's worst-selling manga titles. Well, because it's a series about Swiss freedom fighters. It's like in the early 14th century that doesn't have an anime adaptation to drive sales. That's not surprising, but this is one of those cases where it's a good kind of different. It's like, and it's a welcome. It's a welcome change from like the stuff that's like focused on on high schoolers. It's like kids with psychic powers and whatnot. So yeah, that may sound like something a bit cynical on my part, but it's like Wolfsmund overall is the good kind of different. Just make sure you've got the stomach for it, and no, I do mean stomach because like I said, it's really goddamn violent. It's as violent as you'd expect from someone who worked as an assistant to Miura on Berserk, but in the end, it tells an interesting story, like pretty well for the most part. Okay, John, any thoughts on your end about all this?
So you're saying that it was kind of rushed to a conclusion, you think?
Uh, no, just oddly structured because I was like before I read the afterword in volume 8, I was dead set on believing that Kuji was trying to extend the story after volume 6. So that she just said, okay, well, this is just popular enough. I gotta keep my meal ticket going. Gotta keep. But no, like I said, the volume 8 ends with her telling this is how she wanted to tell that story. But it's just like it's like volume. It's volumes 1 through 6 are just like one. Feel like the story that needed to be told here. Volume 7 and 8, I don't know. It's like
They feel tacked on.
they I was like, on one hand, kind of yeah, but
Like
still,
like maybe an afterthought. So that kind of changes the pacing of it, you'd say.
yeah. It's like I don't know. It's like it doesn't. The thing is, though, it's like I didn't get the feeling in volume 8 that this is a we gotta wrap this up now story. Volume 8 does feel like a proper ending, one where this is how it was supposed to end, not not like how she was like cancellation was imminent. So I'm inclined to believe what she says, that this is how she planned the story. It's just it's just really weird. Why would you plan a series where like 2 volumes, well, the final 2 volumes aren't really pertinent to the main story?
Mm. Okay, yeah. Well, that's interesting, and that may not have been the first time that something like that has ever come up before. Although, like I said, you might see that in like syndication, like someone's just short of syndication maybe in the past, and then they would add a story onto the end. But
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like I get the feeling that the series is just popular enough for them to give her all the rope she needed for the series, but not popular enough for them to say, well, maybe you should go ahead and keep extending it.
all
So
right. Yeah, yeah. Because I assume that that's how manga writers actually write. You know, it's they like the stories, and then they can continue with the story arc. But then it's like if they get the bad vibes that well maybe they don't want to continue it, then
I,
they might have
I
to change the writing style. You think?
I get the feeling that if this series had been selling a million copies per volume, we would have got the story of Swiss independence in excruciating detail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
And I'm
that's
sure, like, hey, maybe even Wolfram would have made maybe even would have survived. It's like what happens to him at Volume 6, and to come back as the big boss. It's like in the final volume, it's like it probably would have got. It may have gone like full shonen, full shonen manga at that point. So
yep. So cool. So what do you have planned for next time?
no clue, but I got a big stack of stuff from the right stuff and cheap graphic novels to go through. So maybe I'll have some idea by the time we sit down to record again.
All right, great. And we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks by the Glick.
All right, laters.